What's up everybody, Justin from Utah Airguns, and today I want to talk about a subject that comes up a lot in discussions. We get a lot of phone calls about that, and I'd like to address that. And that is when people call and ask, what is my factory setting supposed to be on this airgun? And we get that for a lot of different airguns, but primarily about the FX line because of the adjustability and stuff, and people want to know what their factory tune is. I think people get maybe a little bit lost in when they're trying to tune something or they make adjustments and it didn't work out well. So I want to go through some of that today. First off, factory settings. There is not a dead set setting that is just, this is how the factory sends it and that's that, because they're all just a little bit different. But basically when they get function tested, once they've left the factory and they arrive, they go through a series. They start a leak down test to make sure that we don't have leaks, and then a functionality test along with, they check velocities and just get it to a speed that you would want it shooting pellets or slugs or however it's going to be set up. And then those function test that and make sure everything cycles and runs good. It is not a specific tune, guys. So that, I hope that answers the question. And it's that way with almost every airgun. Some that are not real adjustable, they kind of set them up in the factory and that's how they're set. Well, that's your factory setting. But on guns that have a lot of external adjustments, there is not a 100% just this is how it comes. So I want to teach you today how to build your own baseline so that you'll never get lost in a tune. And I'm going to show you how to tune an airgun so it's going to run flawlessly. If you follow this and you take little small adjustments like I'm going to teach you how to do, you're going to have a very, very, very good shooting gun, and it's going to be very efficient. It's going to be as quiet as it can be for the power you're making if we're trying to extract power. And we can go through all that, but I'm going to show you how to baseline tune a gun really quick, make it so you understand how the guns work. So let's get started. All right, guys, in this video, to tune, we're going to adjust 4 different things max, okay? We are going to adjust our hammer spring tension on what we would call the macro wheel. We're also possibly going to make adjustments on the micro wheel. We have the valve return spring here. That's another adjustment that we may use today. And also down in here, we've got your regulator pressure. Those are going to be the things that we're going to adjust today. The tools you would need is just a 2.5 millimeter ball head Allen wrench for your regulator adjustment. Other than that, there's no tools required for this. I'm going to show you what each one does. So let's start with the hammer spring. What is it and why is that the power wheel that some people call it, and what does it do? This adjusts the tension of your hammer spring. So it basically controls how hard you compress that hammer spring so that it rebounds and opens faster or slower, okay? That's the basic function of that. That's what this does, and this is just a smaller adjustment of it. The micro is just gonna be a finer adjustment. So if we get into the nitty gritty fine tune, we're gonna go ahead and use that micro wheel as well. And then the valve tension, this valve tension knob, this is going to control how fast the valve closes, okay? That's what it's for. It's a fine-tuning adjustment, basically, that can help drastically with efficiency and accuracy if it's set right. So those are the settings. That's what they do. And then obviously we have our regulator pressure, which is back in here. That controls how much regulator pressure we put through the gun. So our operating pressure of the gun, what sits in this plenum right here before the gun is fired, what pressure is that regulated to perfectly every time? That's what that adjustment is. This is a brand new gun. I have not even fired a round out of this gun. I've got it loaded. This is the FX Impact M4. This is in 30 caliber compact, and we've got the Air Marksman backbone rail, and we've got the Loki under rail. It was just the way I wanted it set up to get it started. We've got the Impulse Air moderator, and I've got the nice Odinworks bipod, and the Element Nexus Gen 2 scope. So initially what I did right out of the case, because this is one that had been air checked and brought to velocity to make sure it was good. So I took it out of the case and I turned settings all down. The reason I do that is because if we're gonna tune our own gun and get a good baseline and start, it's very important that you start from all low settings. So I've turned the reg way down, and I've turned my hammer quite a bit down. I like to keep the macro right in the middle to start, and then I'm at, like right now I'm at 11. That's not necessarily a number that's specific. It's just I turned it way down off of max so that I could show you guys how we're gonna build this tune. So let me check. I didn't even look what I dropped the reg to. I may have to bring it. Yeah, it's at like 10. Well, I might have to bring that up. So while I do that real quick, let me hurry and adjust that. I'm going to go up, which is by turning counterclockwise on the reg screw. I'm just going to turn it really slow because sometimes it can be very sensitive. And I'm going to work my way up until I get to about, let's just say 90 bar, because that is a very low setting. And who knows, maybe we'll like a tune at 90 bar, who knows? So 30 cal compact, typically I don't run low reg pressures on a short barrel. And the reason for that is I like to have quiet guns, and also with a short barrel like this, you know, obviously we need to give it a little more oomph to get the velocity up versus a long barrel. But the other reason is with a compact barrel, I need the valve to close faster because I need this valve to shut before the projectile leaves the barrel. That's how I'm going to get, for one, the best tuning, and also it's going to be quiet still, and it's going to be efficient. I'm not burping air out the end of the barrel because the valve is still open after the projectile leaves, okay? So that's part of this step and what we're going to walk up. So I've got it set way down. Typically, I know I normally would not run a compact that way, but for the sake of showing you how to step up on a tune, let's get started. We'll do that. So I've got the reg set at about 90 bar, okay? I haven't sighted this in either, so that's okay. We'll figure it out as long as I don't kill Cole's camera. Let's give it a couple shots and see where we start. Okay. Okay, 756, and this is, like I said, on a brand new gun. So let's just get a few in it before we adjust anything, because it's probably going to settle in a little bit. 765. 773. So it's going to rise a little bit. We know that as it kind of breaks into touch. Okay. 772. If that's the speed you want to shoot pellets, teaches their own. But for me and shooting a 45 grain pellet, I want this going a little bit faster than that. But let's start there. I've started on 11. My macro's right in the middle. So I'm going to go up one click. That's it. Okay. And I'm going to shoot again. Okay, 779, 784, 788. So we're just creeping up like that. Okay, to where we level out. 780 to 785 is where we're sitting. Obviously, I want to go faster than that still. I'm going to go up one more click, okay? One step. Let's see what we get. Okay, 784, 789, 787. So it's being consistent. We've made gains. I can go up one more. As long as we're making progress, we're making gains on the chronograph, we're good, right? So I'm going to go up one more. Let's see what we get. 785, 788, 786. Okay, I didn't make gains here for my last step, basically. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back down. I'm going to drop it back down one click to go back where we made last progress. Now we're going to go back here to the regulator, and we're going to up that regulator a little bit. So what happened is we had all the hammer we could give this gun for that reg setting. Otherwise, we're going to start over hammering the gun. We're going to start wasting air. The gun's going to get loud, and it's probably not going to be as accurate. So those are all things that we don't want. So when I up the regulator, that is just adding more pressure to that valve, and we're giving it a higher pressure burst of air, basically. So let's go ahead and jump that up. Guys, when you do this, slow, small adjustments, okay? So I'm going counterclockwise, and I'm only gonna bring it up maybe 10 bar. This had actually settled a little bit, so I was only at about 80 bar or so. So anyway, I adjusted to 100. Normally just do a 10 bar max. So, but let's see what we got, okay? Okay, 759. What happened? Why did I drop speed when I raised reg pressure? Well, it's because we are still set at the hammer setting that would open the valve for when it only had 80 bar holding it shut, if that makes sense. So the way these work, if you think about it this way, that whatever regulator pressure you have, it's holding the valve shut with that pressure, if you want to think of it that way, okay? The hammer is what is opening that valve open. So We're trying to control this timing, how far that dwell time is open, how long the valve opens, how far it opens, and how long it's open. So if we make small steps, we're gonna be able to stay very consistent with that. If we try to make big steps, we're gonna get lost. So now the reason I've lost speed is because the valve is being pushed shut harder with the higher reg pressure. So I know that I need to now go up with the hammer, but I'm gonna be able to achieve higher speeds and give it more hammer spring, if that makes sense. So now, did I just go up one step? I don't know if I turned it up one step or not. We'll find out. Let me fire shot. I did not. So, okay, we're gonna go up one notch, okay? Okay, 782. 780, okay, so we're there. Let's go up one notch. Okay, 794. 795, we're out. Okay, just reloaded the magazine. We had made a little bit of gains, so we went up. Let's see what we've got again. So I turned the hammer up one notch. Okay, 780, 785, 793, 796. So when you are making these adjustments, make sure you take several shots, because sometimes you're trying to settle that out, get the plenum completely refreshed, because we may not be fully emptying that. Empty? What the hell was that? We may not be fully emptying the plenum. So make sure you take several shots before you go make adjustments. But I know I've peaked out there, so I'm gonna go up one more, see what we get. Okay, 805, 807, 800. So we made gains. I want to shoot this compact with pellets at 850 to 860. And some of you may be thinking, well, that's awfully slow. It's actually a fantastic speed for a compact, and it will do everything you want it to do. So, but that's where I want to get it to. I'm not there yet, so I'm going to go up another notch. Let's give it a shot. Okay, still making gains. 819, 818, 822, 811. That one dipped. That could be a pellet, whatever. So, okay, 815. So we've kind of leveled out there. Let's try going up one more and see what happens. Okay. 826, 823, 819, 821. So we've about plateaued on what progress we were making. So we're gonna stay right there. I didn't go over a step and not make progress, but I know that we basically plateaued right there. So now I'm gonna go back to the reg again, okay? And I'm gonna turn this reg up just another 10 bar, okay? Let's see what we got. Okay, 818. So let's go up one notch now. Oh, I went over. So on the M4, if you get to the max on these, it will roll over to 1 instead of stop. This is where I need to go into my macro wheel a little bit, so I'm gonna just adjust that up a touch. Okay. This is basically equal to about a half of each click on here is about half of a full click, roughly. So let's try it again though. Okay, first shot was 838, this one was 837, and I'll be damned if not on frickin' ammo again. Okay, back to fun. All right, guns and battery, we're ready to go. Let's see what we got here. I've just adjusted the reg, 833, 837, 839, 836. Okay, we are settled there. We're gonna go up 2 clicks on the micro wheel, because that's what I have left right now. Ooh, it sounded good, it felt good. Okay, 841, 845, 841, 842. So now we've really started to settle down in velocity. So, and we're about where I want to be, but I'm going to go up let's try one adjustment, see what that does, okay? So, okay, 848, 848, 845. As you can see, small adjustments are key if you want to get a very consistent shot string, okay? So we're there, but not quite there, so I'm gonna go up one more click on the micro wheel. Okay, 853, 850, 848. Okay, 850. Super consistent now. On an air gun that only has an adjustment for regulator pressure and hammer spring, I've just walked you through how to balance that and how to do it. So just to recap, we're going to start all the settings very low and work our way up first on the hammer spring. Once we've plateaued with power or lost power, we're going to go back one step, then we're going to bump our regulator pressure up. 5 to 10 bar, that's it. We don't need to make big adjustments. And we go back to shooting our string, and we start working our way up on the hammer again until we make last progress, and then back to the regulator. We adjust the regulator up again slightly and go back to making small adjustments. So that's the sequence. It's very simple and very easy to stay on track. And as you can see, I've never varied out of that 5 feet per second, which is very, very acceptable. I mean, a chronograph can vary 5% over an 850 foot second shot string. It's really damn consistent is what I'm saying, okay? And it was simple. We didn't have to do much. Now, let's talk about if we want to have more efficiency out of this gun, and maybe I want to try and fine tune for accuracy. That's where we can start going into, we can start backing off on hammer and going up on regulator. We're still going to keep that balance, but the higher the regulator pressure is in relative to the hammer spring and how long that valve is going to be open is what's going to determine your efficiency. So some people go, what do you mean I'll get a better shotgun if I turn the regulator up? Well, it's because it's giving it a sharper, quicker burst of air than it is a slower, longer push of air, if that makes sense. So that all goes into tuning, and you can play with this stuff on your own, but that's the balance there. So I personally like to keep a compact at higher regulator pressure because I like it quieter, and I like it to be efficient, but still get the power out of a short barrel. Now, on the impact in particular, you have what's called a valve return adjustment right here. So that is another adjustment that controls the assist for the valve to shut. So it's a fine-tuning mechanism, if you will, for how fast that valve's going to close after it's been opened. So that can be used to control power. It can also be a good tool to control efficiency as well. So if I want to start closing that off a little bit so that the valve is going to close tighter, I can make very small adjustments. So just for the sake of trying it, let's go let's go out just a touch, okay? That's a small adjustment. That's actually as far as I can go on that thing, so we're probably wasting some air. So let's, on the other hand, let's go in, okay? Let's go in quarter of a turn. Let's see what happened here. Okay. As you see, I didn't lose velocity, okay? So now we can start playing with that. Let's go in just a touch more. Okay, I lost about 2 feet per second with that adjustment, so we know that we're right kind of on that edge of that too. I've actually sighted the scope in now so we can start getting a realistic look at accuracy, so we know it's shooting where we want. So I took a fresh target out, took the first 3 shots, they all went through the same hole. I'm running 856, good speed for a compact. I would like that in a 30 cal compact. That's a good speed. And I only had an extreme spread of 3 feet per second. That's nuts. That's insanely good. So standard deviation's like 1, which is incredible. So like I said, guys, that's a very simple tune. It's really fast to do, and you're never going to get lost in it. And as you can see, you're going to get great results. So I can keep going on this. I can really fine tune if I wanted to back it off a little bit speed-wise, if I want to speed it up just to see if if it gets any better. But I'm not going to get better than 1 hole. I'm not that good. But maybe you guys are. You can get better than a 1-hole group. But as you can see, it was an easy thing to keep track of. We were able to track every step along the way until we worked up to that optimum speed that we wanted. And I got a wonderful accuracy. I have a good sounding gun, and I'm shooting it very efficiently. So there you go. I hope that helps. And if you ever need a question on starting a tune or tuning any airgun, start there. Go low on both your reg pressure and your hammer spring. Start low, work up, hammer first, then reg, hammer, reg. Just in that sequence, you're going to do great. So that's a wrap on the what's our factory setting myth, or whatever people tend to set it be. There is no factory setting. It's just a range of where that gun shoots at a good speed and to test functionality. If you pay for a specific tune to a specific ammo, it's going to be treated just like I did here with whatever ammo you want to use, and we're going to make it so it gets the most accurate outcome, if you will. I don't like that long pause. Maybe you can clip it in. But anyway, so that's a wrap for your factory settings discussion, and also a quick basic how to tune your air rifle video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that helped a lot. I hope you learned a lot, and you're able to make those tunes yourself, and hopefully you get some great results. I think you will. Follow those things. Never make big steps at a time. Baby steps all the way, and you're gonna find great success. So, great success. Catch you guys next time.